Well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
Brian.
Welcome, everyone. How are you? Chris, how are you? How's everybody doing?
Amazing.
Doing
Amazing when
amazing.
I'm with you.
Thank you so much. Likewise. Today, we go deep, okay, into career coaching. So, most coaches, they tell you what to do. Generic advice, one size fits all. But what if it feels robotic, like talking to a wall? Today, we challenge that. We show you a human way to transform your career. So, joining me, an incredible client and friend now, Kristine Howdy. Kristine is a change manager. Is Prosi certified? How do you pronounce it? Prosi.
ProSci,
Prosi is certified. Leader in accessibility, inclusion strategies. She hit 100% milestones ahead of schedule and a 50% salary increase. Phenomenal. Amazing. So, Kristine, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here.
thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me tell everyone how amazing what you offer is and life-changing, to be honest with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it immensely. I want to say thanks to Cam, first of all. I appreciate immensely when other people go out of their way to share. The only way that Chris and I could have met, I guess, in this lifetime was through someone else, a dear friend of ours that we trust, Cam. So I appreciate it immensely. So, Chris, I'm really interested in everything that you went through. By the way, for everyone watching, this is the second time we switched jobs, but I want to
Yep.
focus on this last one, which was the 50% increase. The
Yes,
previous one
sir.
was about a different objective altogether, but this one was about making more money and really getting compensated fairly for the value that Chris brings to the table. So, can you tell us for this particular situation? Can you tell us what was your career situation like?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you. I mean, I was making a good salary, a great salary by today's standards, but I was wearing three hats. I was a project manager, change manager, communication specialist, strategic, individual contributor. A lot of hats, for that one salary, and not necessarily being recognized for that. Struggling to kind of really move some of the portfolios along in a way that I know could be really efficient. So, and I knew that in this next 10 years of my career, which is nearing the end of my career, I wanted to be in a position where there was a little bit more autonomy, definitely being valued for the contribution I bring in. And that's when I came to you first. And so we did the step one just to get me in the right position to then move to this new step two that I'm looking forward to starting in 26. Can't wait.
That's amazing. You know, and what is not amazing is to actually have to do three people's jobs. And this, by the way, I have the moral responsibility to guide everyone as much as we all like likes and comments and so on. I just want to caution you. If you're watching, be careful with what you say, right? Because you just never know who's watching, especially if you're employed, right? Um, but yeah, who likes to do three people's jobs of being paid for one?
Well,
Feels
and
unfair. Yeah,
organizations have to do
yeah,
more with less.
yeah.
So we're all in that position. But I think the important thing is to find an organization that has the intelligence and know how to really value what they've hired you for, right? And to be compensated fairly. And that's all you can ask for, right? With all of the other challenges happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me something. Before we switch jobs, what you're starting soon, the new one. But
Yep.
how were you feeling? If you don't mind, I always love to understand what people were going through in terms of how they woke up or how they went to bed or how much weight they had on their
Oh,
shoulders. So yeah.
yeah, no, when before I met you and before, kind of signed up to a lifetime of learning with you all and kind of eye-opening, the blue pill and the red pill from the Matrix, it was kind of one of those things where I had spoken to a career coach and I'm like, oh, maybe I need to speak to a US career coach and pay all the big bucks. So I had tried that with so expensive. And all I got was 15 minutes, 2 times 15 minutes of time with them. I meet you. I think you spent at least a half an hour before I'd even committed to being with you, and just talked me through it and said look, okay, you and I don't necessarily need, I'd love to work with you, but if you don't, here's like 5 things you can do now, Kristine, that is really going to make an impact, right? Completely opposite of the approach I was taking. So the approach I was taking was finding like the best role for me, right? Very specific, and then spending like my whole weekend from Friday night till Sunday night, like redoing my CV, writing a cover letter, making it perfect, right? So no weekends, no personal time, and then submitting the application and never hearing back, which is common for so many people, right? Not knowing even how to connect with someone in this virtual world that we're all living in to even be known. And that cycle would continue on and on and on for months to try to get me to that next level.
How many times did we tailor our resume or your resume for any given job? How many times did we do this?
This was the wildest thing. And again, you're kind enough to let me share, some of those wonderful nuggets that you gave me, because it took a long time for me to wrap my mind around this. One resume, 5,000 jobs you can apply to, right? As opposed to 5,000 resumes for one niche job. What was I thinking, Brian? Where were you 10 years ago?
You're going to make me choke. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's the thing. You don't have to do any of this nonsense for everyone. Chris already knows this now, but for all of you watching, there's just so much nonsense out there. So much that people don't question, not just the resume, but everything. It's like a big puzzle. We're in 2026. It's quite, there's so much technology involved in trying to help you even get seen for that pre-screening and then the interview and then the negotiation process if you feel the courage to negotiate. And most people are focusing on just one job at a time. It's just one process. And when that doesn't pan out, then you have eventually another one. But if instead you could have multiple interviews going on, multiple job offers coming your way, then your confidence, your power, your strength, and your leverage will be different at a different level. That's how you're able to negotiate and get the job conditions that you truly want. Okay, so listen, Chris, I appreciate what you were saying about the 15 or 30 minutes and all that. Um, for me, it's not about the time. I love connecting with people. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, full transparency. Chris was introduced to me by someone that we both know, that we both trust, a dear friend of ours. Um, but even if she hadn't been introduced by someone else, it's really about putting myself in other people's shoes and understanding who you are and what you're going through, where you're at today and where you want to get to. And the only way to do that is by actually getting to know one another. Otherwise, it's cookie cutter. It's like one size fits all, and then just it's like a machine. I don't see people as transactions. So I'm glad that you felt
Yeah.
differently. We never
And
spoke. By the way, we never spoke about this.
no,
Not
not at
only this.
all.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
if I can add, because
yeah,
people come in here, they may or may not know you. They may have someone that connects you. The 2 degrees of separation or 6 degrees of separation of Brian. Me, it was through Cam, someone that I so respect as well for his approach to business, to life, and really figuring it out in the easiest way for us. But someone reached out to me yesterday as they heard I'm transitioning, and they wanted to catch me before I left the organization, because they were trying to sell their product, right? And so
yeah,
the whole time I was talking to them, I was like, that's a sales pitch. Never with you, Brian, did I ever doubt your authenticity
I
in
appreciate
wanting me to succeed, whether it was with you or not. But as you mentioned at the top of this live, like, we're friends for life. And I don't know, you've got like a million friends probably
No,
through
no, I
this
actually,
interaction.
hold
No,
on.
but I'm saying, like, through the people that you've changed their lives,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
you literally, any one of us can pick up the phone, send you
yeah,
a text, and you are responding
yeah.
like fast, lightning fast.
Thank you for saying that. This is only the second time that we do this. I don't know how many more times. God willing, you find the organization where you love and you continue to grow and you are given the responsibilities and the growth opportunities that you deserve. But we've had people who benefited from this 7 times, that have
Oh,
switched jobs
cool.
7 times over the last 7.5 years. So sometimes by choice. And as you know, the market is really tough right now. The world has become a really tough place to live in. So sometimes it wasn't by choice. Sometimes it was layoffs. Sometimes it wasn't the right fit. So, but what I love is about building true, meaningful, long-lasting, healthy relationships. Some people get it, some people don't. Unfortunately, most people don't get it. But I seem to attract the other kind, the kind that is more like me, people who really appreciate building real relationships where it's not like transactional. Oh, I need you and I speak to you. No, we keep in touch and we message regularly. And hey, how are you doing? Just saying hi, right? Not because I have something else to offer you. Just want to see
Exactly.
how you're doing. Can I help you? Can I be of any value to you? Right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is comforting to me. So anyway, um,
Yeah.
so
And the people that
yeah,
are joining us today, you know what? I bet you they're high performers,
yeah.
go getters, connect with people in a human way. And this group will succeed, 300% if now then they're giving the tools to succeed in what they're trying to do with their career.
Thank you. Tell me something, Chris. How fast did I? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but since you appreciated this, you talk about, oh, you gave me more time, but the actual interactions, the actual going back and forth on a regular basis, did you at any time feel like, oh no, it's limited to this amount and we can only meet at this, or what? Can you describe in your own words what it was like to work together one on one?
Well, because of my previous experiences with other coaches, with other mentors, paid services to guide me and whatever the topic might be, it was like book an appointment, use my calendar and book an appointment, it's a 15-minute, 10-minute time slot, like 3 weeks from now. With you, I kind of, at the beginning, I'm like, oh, I don't want to take up Brian's time. We've got a really great group going through this challenge, this 5-day challenge. I'm sure other people, are tapping on his shoulder, and you kept telling all of us, I am there for you. Like, use me, like, don't be shy to reach out to me. And in my cohort, who completed the 5-day challenge, it's really those of us that took you at your word and tapped into you that we, like, I saw, right, all of those amazing success stories. It was the people who really were committed and plugging into your real expertise in the area. And I was not treating my job search and applications like I should, right? Like, you don't hear from a recruiter, it's a hurry up and wait. But I'd be like waiting by the computer, right? I would never do that in my personal life, like dating. Like, you don't want to call me back? You don't want, sayonara, see you later, right? So you brought in that joy again. And it's wild because career searching, when you're doing it the old way, is so painful. Like you mentioned, discouraging. You just feel so alone. And then with you, the cohort around me, different peers that you meet, and you connect it on LinkedIn. And I'm still, LinkedIn connections with many in my cohort for the 5-day challenge. It's wild because now you've got a network of people who get you. You're all talking the same language. You're all pushing yourself forward. And at the top of that pyramid is you, Brian, just really always. Sometimes I had to go, like, I know if I text Brian at 11 o'clock at night, he's going to answer me. So do I have the time to actually,
Try me. You try me. For anyone who's doubting that, try me. You might try me at 2 in the morning. I'm still there.
Yeah.
Like
So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll wait till tomorrow morning when I know I can dedicate as much time to Brian as he's ready to dedicate to me.
you know that the other day someone messaged me at like crazy time in the morning. Okay, like it was like, I can't remember if it was like 2 or 3 or 11. I can't remember, but it was crazy time. And I replied so quickly that this person was like, "Are you AI?"
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not AI. So let me see how I can prove this to you. And I believe that I sent him a voice note with like calling him by name and talking. I was like, no, I'm not AI, but I can totally see why someone might actually think that I am AI, but I'm like, no, I'm not AI. I'm awake. I just happen to be awake, and I don't like to forget to get back to people. So I rather get back to you immediately if I can immediately. Tell me something, because this is something that I didn't mention to you, Chris. But you inspired me or us
Oh,
to create the title of this particular live session. I don't know if you noticed, but the title goes, She went from robotic coaching to a 50% salary increase. Do you know where that robotic came from or not? No idea.
I don't know. Well, maybe. Tell me and it'll light bulb will come on.
So it's from the recommendation that you left me on my LinkedIn profile. So you were talking about this. So we basically
Oh,
leverage
cool.
your own words. I
Yeah.
don't want to come up with something and tell people something that I want to tell them. Those were your words. So that's what you wrote, let's say back in May, I believe, or no, January maybe of last year or something like that.
Yeah.
So I want to understand more if you don't mind, because we never focused on this before. Some people, I'll tell you, and I will bring I'll bring other people like Karen, for example. You met Karen, I believe, in Poland as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Karen, she was scammed big time. She
Okay.
paid a ton of money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and she had the same experience as you. But in her particular case, she made sure that she told me this because she didn't want to go through that again, and she was skeptical about this. In your particular case, because of the trust with Cam, we never actually got to talk about this. It's like, hey, Cam trusts you, so I guess I trust you too, right? So it was
True.
easier. But I would love to know more about what that robotic experience felt like. Besides the fact that you had to wait 3 weeks to meet with someone,
Yeah.
what was that
No.
advice like?
Like pre 2020, right? Like the joke with my family and friends is if you apply to the job and they invite you for the interview, they're going to offer you the job and they're going to offer you more than, right? But post 2020, in this hybrid virtual world, you're not connecting with people who know people other than through LinkedIn, right? So you really got to be on your game. So I was like scouring LinkedIn, signing up, like filling out my profile in like recruitment agency, sending an email, hey, I would love to tell you about me in case you have opportunities. Like I don't even know, I lost count. Like I have folders where I've saved all of that in various times where I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to focus on me again. I'm going to invest in me again. I know where I want to be in 1, 2, 5, 10 years. I need to carve out time for myself, right? But so I would do that, but it was all consuming, and then if you think about other people who might be on the line, they've got kids, they're taking care of a parent, they have to commute for work. Like you do not have time to waste to invest in yourself and get where you want to get that much sooner, right? I'd still be struggling right now. And then despite that, with you in a year, we've made 3 major jumps, right? And that's only the beginning.
It's
We
only the
started
beginning. It
26
better
and
be.
way.
It is always the beginning. Like it doesn't matter how far we get. For me
Yeah.
personally, I always believe this is just the beginning. There's always so much more that we can. Every single one of us has so much untapped potential that once you get to the next one, my job is like, hey, where can we go next? Right now, some people, and it is also my job, my responsibility to be like, hey, you can always go back to watching Netflix if you want. That's your decision. But have you seen how far we've come?
Mm,
More. If you want more, well, in some cases, some people are like, I just need 2 months to just settle and
yeah.
do the thing. And some people might need a little bit longer. And some people are like, I'm ready to keep going, because once you build that momentum, you don't want to stop. You have to double down when the momentum is hot, right? Chris, I have a question. I never asked you this before. Do you remember? I know it's been some time since we started working together, but do you remember if there was one thing that made you, besides trust through Cam, okay, was there one thing that actually, I don't know, gave you the confidence, gave you the push, gave you the helped you make the decision to be like, okay, I trust you, Brian, with my career, with my life. You were in a much tougher situation back then when we first met. what if there was one thing? What was that one thing? If you remember, you might not remember.
No, I mean, we touched on one of the things already, like just the fact that, I reached out to Cam. I said, hey, Cam, I remember seeing a LinkedIn post you did, who was that career guy I saw? I can't find it
That's
anymore.
how it went. That's how
Yeah,
it went.
seriously. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, just, wait a minute, I'll reach out to Brian. And then like, I was like parking a car and like coming out of the car and getting ready to jump in the elevator, and you called me. So luckily it was like a lovely fall or summer day. So I was talking outside on the phone with you that first 30 minutes, and it was authentic. And I think I am a good read of character. I think I have a good, like, I'm able to kind of grasp what the intent is for people pretty early on in conversations. It's helped me in my role, and it definitely helped me kind of just like decide that, yeah, this is different. This is different, and this is going to be great. Right?
I love it. Listen, before I forget, because I don't sleep that much, and I'm scared that I'm not. I'm going to make you a promise. Make you make a promise if you don't mind. Let's see if you make it actually live in front of everyone. So Chris lives a few hours away from me. So in 2026, because we've known each other for more than a year now, in 2026, the big promise is that we're actually going to meet and celebrate, because that's what I love doing with people who are within reach. I mean, a few hours away is still a few hours away, but we have to make it work. So
Yeah.
we have a whole year ahead of us. Can we make it in 2026 to actually get together, even if it's halfway from each other, to meet
Oh,
and go and have dinner or something?
yeah. No, I'm coming to meet you where you're at, and
Oh,
yeah, we're celebrating. Lots to
amazing.
celebrate.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I'm really curious about one thing. I don't think that I've ever asked you, because we went through a lot. But one quick question is: was there anything specific from everything that we went through that was that's the thing that I love the most? We don't have to get into all the details, but just I'm curious now. Was there anything at all that, or any of those parts that we went through? It's a lot that you were like, that's the thing that really always sticks with me. Anything at all?
Yeah. Well, I was speaking to someone, I work in the federal space here in Canada for the last quite a few years, and now kind of still transitioning, but a lot of federal clients. So I was speaking to a colleague in my broader network in the federal space, and things are getting shaken up here in Canada, where a lot of federal, really great people, right, with budget cuts are being impacted there. And I said, we're talking, and what I'm hearing from you is like, you're looking to find, you have all of these amazing skill sets that could be applied everywhere else, but you're looking to apply in this niche of like this really narrow lane of opportunities. You're not even considering the US, like or international, right? With all of these remote opportunities. So I'm like, if you don't do anything else, start to broaden your search. So again, you have a proven approach. I love systems, right? Systems thinking. I love, like, how do you do something and you can repeat it and you get results, and you get results fast. So for me, it was like, why was I like, the skill set I have? I always say, like, you can talk to me about like submarine building, and I could potentially like bring a strategic planning and change and communications lens to supporting teams across an organization, right? So why am I limiting myself to, maybe my field of study that's like, 10 plus years ago, to what I think the market is looking for, but I know there's only like one role in the organization of like 10,000 employees. So like, why am I trying to get in there? So that's one of the things, is finding a way to broaden your net of kind of jobs that you're applying for. Obviously, you'll get more bites. And then when recruiters or whoever it might be, the people leader hiring you sees, again, I used your services to build my resume. I was going to do it myself. And you're like, is it really worth you fiddling around for 3 weeks? And some people in my cohort were like tweaking and whatever. And I'm like, no, throw it over at Brian and team to make it great, you know? So,
I wanted to say something regarding that.
yeah.
And yes, back then when we first met, I was still supporting that crazy idea of teaching people how to write their resumes, which is great. I mean, but the truth is, after I stopped, I paused for a moment, and I was like, "What am I doing? Why am I teaching people how to write resumes? Like, it makes no sense, right?
Mm,
When you want an oil change in your vehicle, if you drive combustion engine, do you want to learn how to change the oil of your vehicle, or you just want to bring it to Mr. Lube or wherever it is for them to change it? You just want to go from point A to point B. You want the result. You don't care about all the other stuff that needs to happen in between. You just want a result. And especially if the thing that needs to happen in between takes so long and it's so tedious, and you're like, I don't care about that. It sounds like a great idea, but I can learn it later. I am feeling stuck today. I'm feeling miserable. I'm feeling, I'm in a toxic environment. I'm being overworked. I have so much weight on my shoulders. I have, maybe my job is coming to an end. I need to find a job. I don't have time to learn how to write a resume. So, you know what I did? No more teaching people how to write a resume.
so
Why?
smart.
Because I don't even want to have go through the situation where people now realize, oh, you know what? Yeah, you were right. It was going to be tedious. Let's remove that friction altogether from the beginning. We make the decision of what's best for people. What's best for you is to go from point A to point B as quickly as possible and to have the job conditions that you want and you deserve. Okay? What you
Yeah.
desire.
We want
Everything
to be
else
the
doesn't matter.
CEOs of our careers, right? Is a CEO writing a resume? Nuh-uh. You get the right people to do the right pieces. I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. I mean, it was a no-brainer for me because I just obviously what I was doing was not working. So that's great to hear. If you don't mind me just adding one more piece
Yeah,
of
please.
apply early, apply often,
Mhm.
right? Like across. So I went on a trip in November, unexpected, to a lovely island and, beach right outside my door. And we were doing little road trips and visiting other beaches across the island. It was really a wonderful treat in November. Well, guess what, Brian? Like this opportunity, do you know when this opportunity came up? It's when I was up at 6:30 in the morning and all of my, the people I was traveling with, they sleeping until 10. And I'm like, this sounds like a pretty good time. Boom, 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 easy apply, easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. Took 10 minutes. I don't know how many easy applies I did in like actual jobs that yeah, we do the quick read. Yeah, that fits. I can do that. And it came from that, right?
I love it.
In November, late November, right? And here we are, early January.
I
And
I love how coachable you are and the fact that you just trusted the process.
yeah,
You were one of the many, many, so many people saying, trust the process, just follow, do exactly what Brian says.
yeah,
Don't reinvent the wheel. I've
exactly.
made just I wanted to know, Chris, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you before. I have my own coach as well. I invest in myself. I've been investing in myself for the last 5.5 years. Lots of money, more than half a million US dollars in my personal development. Okay. And I thought it was easier for me to be coachable. I thought I was coachable. It turns out that my creative mind was
Hmm.
taking over. I was always trying to reinvent the wheel. I would hear A, I would do B. I would hear C, I would do D. Until someone that I trust, my partner, he was like, "You're never following the guidance that we're paying for." I was like, really? He's like, no, you're always doing your own version. That's why we're not seeing the results that we could have been seeing. At least give it a chance and see what happens if you do what you are being asked to do. So it doesn't surprise me that you've seen the results because you actually have a certain mindset to just follow. Okay, if I'm being told to do it this way, I will do it that way. And this easy apply that you're referring to is part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and make sure, I think one of the things when you are like in the weeds in the job, right, and you're getting pulled in every direction, and again, that's typical for 100% of people in the job, right? They're leaders, the senior leaders, no matter what job you've got, frontline, definitely in tech, definitely in kind of at those strategic levels when you're reporting into senior leader or VP or CEO, you're getting asked to like respond immediately. So you kind of sometimes forget about yourself because you're just trying to make it through your workday. So find the time like you would do for working out. The people that are the most successful in their health is they carve out time. And so for me, it was like 6:30 in the morning when no one else was awake, and consistently doing that. Even if you just go like, I really don't have time. Everyone's got 15 minutes, right? Doing
Absolutely.
scrolling on Instagram. You mentioned Netflix. So find that pocket of time, because what that did for me as well as your support and just your positive energy, right? Always focusing me on the positive and not kind of getting stuck in the negative. But what that application did for me, like just to know I was committing to that, it brought joy, Brian. It sparked joy. It was fun. It was fun to apply for jobs. And if anyone's, kind of thinking about that, it is fun to apply for jobs and to invest in your career with Brian and the approach that you lay out so clearly for all of us. It went from like the most painful to I'm looking forward to apply for jobs. And I don't know how many people in my current network, and I've shared the link with them. I don't know how many people can say that it's like the stress is almost nil in doing this process and being surrounded by others who are going through the same thing and having your coaching invaluable.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I'll tell you, um, yes, for anyone who's thinking, wondering, what do you mean it's fun to apply for jobs? It's so freaking tedious. I'm tailoring my resume for every single job. I'm being asked to submit cover letters. I have to do a whole bunch of stuff, read job descriptions endlessly. And how can that be fun? Well, we are not doing any of that. So maybe that's where it starts, right? By not doing any of that stuff, it can start to become fun, right? So I have a moral obligation to share with everyone. If you are not doing Easy Apply today, my recommendation is get all the pieces in place, because it's not just
Yes.
as easy as it once was. Oh, just Easy Apply and then I will land the interviews. You will not. And if you have been doing Easy Apply, everybody knows Easy Apply by now. If you're not landing the interviews, especially the ones that you want for the role that you actually want, with the job conditions that you actually want, whether it is the high compensation that we've been discussing, remote, and so on and so forth, flexibility, recognition, the title, the responsibilities. If you're not landing those interviews, then stop, pause for a moment, which gives me as a good segue to tell you how it is that we can bring you value. Okay. So I want to finish this with Chris. First of all, your transformation, it's inspiring. You achieved 100% milestones ahead of schedule, and that incredible 50% salary increase. So was amazing. Okay. So for everyone else, I want you to know that there is an event that we're creating this week. This is going to be the third time that we're doing this. We don't do this as often, but it's going to be 5 days. So it does take a little bit of commitment from your side. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern, at 5 p.m. Pacific. So somewhere in between, if you're a Mountain or Central, Mountain 6 p.m., Central 7 p.m., it's 1 hour. And in that 1 hour, you can start to understand and build your strategy to switch jobs, just like Kristine, Chris, and 1,000 plus other senior professionals, especially in tech. So if you want to join us, if you want to check it out, if you want to see what it is that Chris has gone through, join us and come with an open mind and focus, and don't get distracted. And check it out. Go to Switch Jobs now. I will put it here in the comments or in the banner. You can see that switchjobsnow.com. Go grab a ticket, join on time. If you cannot join every single night because you have other commitments, you're busy with work, with other responsibilities, totally fine. You will get a replay, but go grab a ticket and see what it's like to switch jobs from your ultimate position of power, to have multiple opportunities lined up where you can really choose, where you can have leverage, where employers are no longer taking advantage of you, and you are in full control of your career, and a career opportunity that is perfectly aligned with the life that you want to live, not the other way around. We're not adapting our lives to the job. We are designing the life that we want to live, and we are finding the right role for that particular life that we want to live, that specific life. If that resonates with you, go check it out. Chris, what do you think? Should I join?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Anyone who's got a niggle of like, yeah, this resonated with me, whatever Brian said, whatever maybe I shared about my story, it won't take long for you to like be convinced. And I think this 5-day challenge, 1 hour, Brian, 5 days in the evenings, at least in the US
Yeah.
Canada
Yeah.
space, how great is that? You know, so there you go. Like, I did not regret one time investing in myself. And it was really the first time I've ever actually invested in my success, right? Worrying about everyone else and how are they doing and supporting them and being a peer for them. It was the first time. And I don't know if you said anything in particular that really resonated, but it's like, what do you might have said, like, what have you got to lose? Is what you're doing now working? Heck no. So like, try it, right? And I've not looked back, Brian. And I think this approach right now, like this ability for people to learn from you in these nuggets of time over the course of a week, it'll be pretty wild, the aha moments that they all have if you join. So yeah, 100% endorsed. And I'm on LinkedIn. People can find me there, and we can chat. I'm happy to talk about all of the wonderful things you've brought into not only my professional career, but really my personal career and my mindset of how I see things now. And yeah, what would Brian do? Happens a lot in my workplace in terms of the interactions,
I
you
was
know?
going to I was going to say that the thing besides our friendship and how much you care for me and vice versa, um and the warmth in your personality and how much I trust you. Um, for me, what I always remember is when you have a certain situation going on, how you always reach out and you say, "Hey, I just remember, or I just hear your voice. In my head, in my mind, not even talking to me.
Yeah,
What would Brian do? Like, what would Brian say? What's that mindset? What's the way to deal with this in a way that is doesn't make everything blow up, right? Like,
exactly.
so yeah, for me, I've heard this so many times from you that when I think of you, I think of that thing. What would Brian do? Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone who, so for those of you watching, I just wanted to recognize where you are at today. If you've been watching for the last half an hour, 35 minutes, I appreciate you for being here. This is not necessarily the time for you to do this. Only you know when this is a priority for you. If you've been watching for 35 minutes, it may be the right moment for you to do it. You might want to live 2026 in a certain way. And the only way to do that is by taking action. If any of this resonated, but you're like, no, this is not the right moment, I need to wait, by all means, wait if you need to. Just recognize that there is also a cost to not taking action, right? So those sleepless nights, those worries, if you're leaving money on the table, that money is not going to come back. I always tell people when I meet with them, it's like, I can change the future. I cannot change the past. Whatever hasn't happened I cannot do anything about that. Or whatever is wrong today or in the past, cannot change it. I can only change, let's say, 2 weeks from now, what's going to happen, or 2 months from now, but not in the past. So just recognize when this will be your priority. And if I will leave you with one last thing, is this piece of advice. My recommendation is time box your efforts, right? So only you know how fast you want to switch jobs. That's the way. Wherever it is that you are today, that's not going to solve anything. So you want to switch jobs. The question is how fast. My recommendation is this: if you haven't started yet looking to switch jobs and you want to tackle it by yourself because you are like the old version of me, like, oh no, I can figure it out by myself, that's great. But limit the amount of time that you're going to dedicate to this. Only you know how much time that is. But say, if by this date I don't have what I'm looking for, then I definitely need someone. That someone might be me, that someone might be someone else. It doesn't matter. But the advice still applies. Make sure that you find that someone who can take you from point A to point B. My recommendation also, when you look for someone to help you, to guide you, is to look for two specific traits in that person. First, you need someone with provable experience, someone that can demonstrate that they've helped other people go from point A to point B, especially people similar to you. And the second one is someone with the right values, someone that will not take advantage of you. If the person has the experience but is not a good person, if their values don't align with yours, they will take advantage of you. And if it is a good person but doesn't have provable experience, it doesn't matter how much they try, they will not be able to help you anyway. So find those two characteristics and you will be safe. God willing, of course, you will be most likely to be safe. Okay. Chris, anything else that you want to add before we say goodbye?
Just, it's an example of like, you just care about people. You don't even know the people, and you care about people, and that is unique in this world where we're all trying to figure it out on our own. And again, it's a no pressure thing. You're saying, look, like, I'd love for you to learn what Kristine has learned, right? Like, that didn't take long for me to learn, but might not be the right time, whereas definitely not the experience I've had previously, right? So, oh gosh, I'm looking so forward to hearing the stories about the people that are going to start this 5-day challenge on Monday, right at the beginning of 26. This is such a good way to like accelerate, where you want to be. Like you say, at the end of 26, the people that are going to hop in on Monday in this 5-day challenge, they're going to look back just like I did a month down the road, 2 months, 3 months, a year down the road, and gone, why wasn't Brian with me at the start of my career? So if, again, we got any young people there, oh my gosh, leaving money on the table. I left so much money on the table, over 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is. If you're young, if you're in your 20s and you're wondering about this, my gosh, jump on this, right?
Chris, do you have a chance to meet Pratik by any chance or not? Do you know? Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know Pratik? Okay,
Well,
so
not
you know.
closely, but yeah, tell me the story, because obviously on our kind of virtual world, I know, but
So the crazy thing about Pratik is that when he came to me, he was like, Brian, I've known you for like 5 years, okay? And
okay.
he received advice from me before 5 years ago, and he benefited from that advice, and he got a job through that advice for free, okay? And then 5 years went by, and he was not where he wanted to be. And by the way, love Pratik, he's amazing. I'm meeting with him later today. And anyway, Pratik came to me and he said, Brian, I would love to get promoted in my job. And I said, and I was like, why do you want to get promoted? Well, I want the title, I want the responsibilities, I want the money also. I want the money. I'm underpaid right now. I said, okay. So here's the thing, Pratik. You are way more likely to make a lot more money by switching jobs than by getting promoted at your organization. He's like, I explained to him the concept as to why that makes sense. And he was like, okay, I get it. I was like, even if you're looking to get promoted within your organization, you want to have more options to see what someone else is willing to pay for someone like you. And you can compare to your organization. And then you can decide. The more options you have, the better for you, right? More leverage, more power, more confidence. So he understood. So anyway, he had his performance review. Chris, how much or how little they give you when you go through a performance review? How much do they give you? 2%, 3%, 5% if you're lucky, right? So in 1 month, 20% increase. Okay. So we're talking about all of a sudden he's making a really good, much better amount of money. He's like, oh my God, this paid off in literally a month. I personally didn't think that they were going to give him 20%, but we guided him. We told him exactly how to present his case, and they gave him a 20%, which is insane. And now so he has a job offer. He already received a job offer, which is, I will tell you, it is $55,000 more than what he was just making. And he has another one that is, one second, $85,000 more than what he was making, which is insane because just a moment ago I was complaining that I was underpaid, and now I'm getting jobs that are putting me beyond the $200,000 mark.
It sounds wild, right?
It's amazing.
But you've got a number of Pratik stories.
I'm fully remote. I'm fully remote, by the way.
Exactly. So,
so
talk about being able to enjoy your life outside of work, right? Which we all strive for.
Yeah. So I will bring, once Pratik switches jobs, I will bring him here if he wants to join, of course. But you inspire me to reach out to Karen. So I think Karen might want to join us on Monday. So hopefully,
Um,
through watching you, she might actually want to join on Monday, or maybe Cam. I don't know. Like I have so many people that I can go to. I never know. I feel like so like I don't.
well, and
Yeah.
people might think, these are isolated stories.
No.
I'm not in tech, so I did not expect this jump, right? But you set me up for success, and I think everyone will see a growth. So, go get that money is what I say, because your skill set, right? You're a high performer. Like, your work speaks for itself. Now go and be recognized for that, right? Like, why not? Why shouldn't you enjoy that and go along the journey with Brian and the team? You're never going to regret it.
Thank you so much for saying that. For everyone here, thank you again for your time. Hope you have an amazing weekend, and hopefully I see you also on Monday and start to change your career and change your life. Really, this is not just about the career; it's primarily about your life, how you live your life, how you wake up, how you live, how you enjoy the fulfillment, the comfort, um, the growth, and then your career just needs to be aligned with that, not the other way around. Okay, so hopefully I see you very soon. So switch jobs now, and Chris, I will reach out to you soon. Okay,
Sounds great.
see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.